100 questions about writing in 5 minutes or less. Here we go. Question 12. Have you ever disagreed with an editor's suggestion, and how is it resolved? I refer you back to question 1, which has some of the information in there, but to answer this directly, part of the answer is in the question itself, because it says an editor's suggestion. What happens is you've done a first draft, second draft, and you revised it up to the point where you work with an agent, they get the book into shape, and then they send it to an editor. Based upon that, the editor will then take you on, traditionally published of course, for a contract for however many books it is. But to begin with, everything is focused on that first book. What will normally happen is the editor will then go through the book, study it, make notes, and send you a detailed editorial note with a number of suggestions in the manuscript directly, and it typically comes with a letter which breaks down all of the things that they've commented on. Themes, characters, plot, issues that they're having, consistency, whatever it might be. Every single thing in that letter, every single thing on the manuscript is a suggestion. You can say no to absolutely everything if you choose. You have final say, they do not have final say. It is your name on the front cover, you own the copyright. That's another kind of myth that comes up. If you're traditionally published, you lose the copyright. You do not. Look in the front cover of any traditionally published book, you will see the copyright belongs to the author by name. The publisher does not own it. They have the rights to publish it in the English language. According to your contract, it'll specify where. Typically it will say something like worldwide English rights. That means they can publish this book in this format only in this language anywhere in English. But it means you are in final control of everything that is in the book. If an editor comes to you and halfway through the notes they sort of say, I'm not sure I like this character, I'm really struggling with them, can you make them funnier? Can you make them more light-hearted? Because the story is quite depressing and we need something to buoy it up. You could immediately just turn around and say no if you wanted to. Obviously, it depends upon the story, it depends upon the situation, it depends upon the genre that you're writing in, the theme, what you're trying to do. Do you want it all to be very, very dark and have no levity? So I would say consider everything that they offer as a suggestion, go through it and see if it makes sense. The question is, have I ever disagreed with an editor's suggestion? Yes, I have, many times. A lot of the times I'll just say, reject change, and I'll say no, fine as it is, and I move on. And then that's it. If it's something much bigger, if it's something that needs more attention or a discussion or a conversation, I might have a Zoom call or a phone call with my editor and talk it through and tell her my reasons why and so on. If it's still not resolved, I'll then have a conversation with my agent and talk to them. Now, of course, they are your champion, they are in your corner, they will support you. And they took on the book from you knowing what it was and the vision that you had for it. And if the changes suggested by the editor are not within your vision, then very, very different, then that's fine. They don't get to make the final decision, you do, because it's your book. Another thing that people seem to forget is that the editor is on your side. Their goal is to make the book better. It's not to make it into their book. You're all part of the same team. You're working together to get this book out into the market. It's not confrontational. It's not aggressive. You just have a conversation with them and you explain why you've done something a certain way. And maybe they say, okay, I didn't get that. I needed a bit more clarification. So it's not that they want to change it into something else. They're trying to make it clearer. So it could just be that. They say, oh, I didn't get that. So can you please put some more notes in there or details or a little bit of character things? Or if it's a mystery and they sort of say, we get to the answer and it just, there wasn't any clues. Can you put some more clues in? So it could be stuff like that. So people seem to have this very kind of negative view of traditional publishing, like you're fighting against your editor, and it's just not true. You're all part of the same team.